Welcome to this next game at the Big O 2019 here at Lane Events Center in Eugene, Oregon. We are going to be announcing the Palouse River Rollers All-Stars taking on Copenhagen Roller Derby. I'm Rippy Longstocking.
I'm October Revolution.
And I'm just going to talk to you about Palouse. So, number 606, Filipino. Number 123, Jester. Number 13, Lady Macbeth. Number 19, Chrissy Curbstomp. Number 247, Lexley Active. 27, Don't Care Bear. 3, Crackin' the Whip. 33, Sin with a Grin. 505, Codebreaker. 57, Crackin' Skulls. 69, Weird Al. 84, Megatron. 90, Whiskey Smash. And 919, Bruce Lee.
And I'm going to bring to you Copenhagen Roller Derby. This is also their All-Stars. They are playing with number 111, Tumbleweed, number 113, Metavoons, number 119, Saboteur, number 12, Fricks, number 18, Foxy Phantom, number 236, Candy, number 311, Dynamite, number 321, Pony, number 44, Aula, number 440, Tinker, number 47, Unce, number 54, Alex, number 55, Bai, and number 56, Reggae. We've got just about 10 or so seconds left before we begin this game.
This is our third day of roller derby here at the Big O 2019. There have been a lot of great games so far.
So many games. I mean, I don't even remember the stats, but it's something like 6 countries, and 1 million teams, and 1 million games, and 1 million minutes of volunteer hours.
Yes. So much volunteering.
Lots and lots of wheels on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Some off the skates into the next room. Last night's game, I had a jammer finish the jam with one wheel missing, 7 wheels.
Oh, at least there's wheels, because I've also seen people try and complete jams with the skate missing.
Oh, that's okay.
It's just like a skateboard and roller skating. It's like, how did your skate come off? It was here last year. Actually, the one time I've ever seen a skate fall off was here last year on track 1. And I was like, how? How did you do it?
It's miraculous.
Yes, it is. What is you should tweet at us at internet at #BigO2019 and tell us what is the weirdest thing you've seen.
Yes.
Come flying off a human during a jam.
I mean, the wheel was pretty weird, but we finished some jam and picked up points. By the way, I was saying.
The knee gaskets are always expected, or like toe stabs. I mean, that's pretty run of the mill.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another toe step on the ground.
So I think everybody is in position now to get this first jam going.
That appears to be Whiskey Smash playing for Palouse. They're in the white, and Fricks in the black playing for Copenhagen.
And out of the pack first. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Track cut will be assessed to Fricks. And then a quick star pass there because I think the team assumed that was a lead jammer call and not a penalty call. So we do have Lexley Active.
This will be a
star.
2-minute jam then.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start off with a nice, long, confusing star pass / jammer penalty 2-minute jam.
Oh, nice little spin.
Yeah, great work by Dynamite, but couldn't quite get Lexley Active over the line. Lexley Active is 8 in on this jam so far.
Fricks out of the penalty box. Doing the star stash.
You might hear a bunch of whistles and then no one does anything. We're in track 2, which means track 3 is within hearing distance of us. So, only react to the whistles other people react to. The rest are in your imagination. They're not, but.
And that is Whiskey Smash taking a seat in the penalty box. Luxury Active still on the track.
Copenhagen has scored 4 points.
Yep.
And now matching Luxury Active with 8, so we're 8-8 on this.
Almost through the front of the packs. It's Fricks and now being driven back now to the back, or recycled to the back.
It was Chrissy Curbstomp that did that recycle.
And those 4 whistles were in fact on this track, which indicates the end of the jam. And we arrive here at a 12-12 jam.
So after 2 minutes, much skating and much scoring, it's still tied. This game here, it's only 2 minutes old.
Yes.
Well, looks like we got Reggae jamming for Copenhagen up against Kraken the Whip jamming for Palouse.
Kraken moving back and forth across the line, but not able to. Oh, and as soon as I say that, of course, around the outside, Kraken the Whip picks up lead jammer for Palouse.
Nothing quite as satisfying as being stuck in one of those brace three walls and then being like, never mind, I'm just going to go over here.
So Reggae through the pack with a star in hand, but didn't need to pass it. So Kraken calling it off. So we do have a lead. A lead.
It's 14-12, 26:40 left in the half. I say the score a lot so that if you're doing your dishes or petting your cat or whatever thing you're doing that makes you look away from the screen, you can follow along here.
Mm-hmm. I think that's very wise.
I agree.
That is Megatron facing off against Foxy Phantom. I'm not sure we said this, so I'm going to repeat it just in case. Palouse is wearing the white uniforms with the little, I guess, aqua accents, and Copenhagen is wearing black with the gold accents.
I just said black and white. You got all fancy. I like that better. I'm much more into the accent situation. Taking the seat in the penalty box is Medavoons for Copenhagen, and leaving the penalty box is Kraken Skulls. Lead awarded to Foxy Phantom.
Yeah, that was Chrissy Curbstomp trying to get back to the pack there, but the jam will be called.
That's a pretty good call. 2 points. We're tied again.
Now we're tied.
Yeah, we're tied again. Maybe we'll do this all game. It'll be fun. We'll get we'll get the blood pumping. It's better than coffee.
Well, no, don't get carried away.
I don't know. I mean, I recently called a game that was 199 in the last jam, and I was just like,
wow.
Yeah, see, better than coffee. I'm sorry, it's just better than coffee. Jamie, now we have Tinker for Copenhagen, and that is...
Oh, yeah.
606.
6606, it looks like, but that we don't have that
there is
number
no
on the roster. So, well, you'll see on the scoreboard, because we don't have this number on the official roster, it would just indicate lead.
Yeah. I'm surprised nobody caught that.
So headed to the penalty box, that's Lady Macbeth for Palouse. But we do know for a fact it's Tinker that has the star for Copenhagen, is out of the pack, eligible for scoring.
Well, 2 points for the skater from Palouse. Bringing this to 16.
We will see. I think we find out who that skater is.
We got Whiskey Smash jamming up against Fricks.
Oh, big big hits there. And finally, Fritz makes it out of the pack, is lead jammer for Copenhagen.
I see an attempted start. You see the helmet covers like a flag waving in the wind, and the pivot seemed to have grabbed it. So we definitely have a star pass. That's
Yes.
Lexley Active
Yes.
is the jammer for Palouse right now.
I love the name Luxury Active, but it's really hard to say quickly.
It is very hard to say quickly.
And again, a lot of whistles being blown, but not on our track.
Not our whistles.
So you may hear those, especially if you're doing dishes. You might think a whole lot of stuff is.
I keep
a lot
looking.
of bodies to the penalty box, but no, that's on track 3. On track 2, we're just getting a whole lot of recycling way back here to turn 4.
Correct. Riding the line around to grab those 4 points.
So that is the first scoring pass for either jammer, because you can see the defense out here has been doing a good job so far. Now, Fricks did make it right through as soon as I said that, of course, and for another 4.
It's going to be 8 now on the jam, so.
Whiskey Smash in the box. That's also Dynamite in the box. So we have blocker apiece. And here comes another blocker. I think that's 321. Is that Pony? I think that's Pony.
That's going to be the end of that jam. 4 more for each jammer. So 12 total for Copenhagen, 4 for Palouse. It's the second 12-point jam we've seen from Copenhagen. But remember, the first time, Palouse also had a 12-point jam. So it's the first time we've ever seen more than like a 2-point difference in the score.
So don't forget to use the hashtag BigO2019 in all your tournament posts this weekend. We'd love to see all of the great pictures that you're taking in the venue, or if you're at home watching, we'd love to see your pets as well.
That is Kraken the Whip jamming against Reggae. Kraken gets lead at a turn 1.
Now that whistle was for our track. And we'll send a blocker to the box. I believe that's Whiskey Smash. Yeah,
It
Whiskey
is.
Smash. Already a blocker for Copenhagen in the box. I think that might be Dynamite. Just our angle makes it really difficult to see one whole side of the penalty bench, but we will try to keep you apprised of who is there.
4 points go to Palouse. It's going to make the score now 24-26 with 20 minutes left in this half. Pretty standard jam we just came off of. We're headed into the next one. We have Megatron jamming against Foxy Phantom.
Both teams working their way so far through a 4-jammer rotation.
Again, the defense here is doing a great job of hanging on to the jammers. Dynamite now out of the box, engaging with that pack.
Lead awarded to Foxy Phantom just a little bit before she broke completely clear of the pack, but she was able to get out of there. Very quick star pass by Palouse, though. Chrissy Curbstomp is now your jammer. Going to force a very fast call off. Just 1 point goes to Copenhagen. Makes the score 27-24, so 3-point game.
We do have the mystery jammer back on the line. Let's see if we can't get that skater's name. We don't have a way to readily check the Twitter feed, but if you want to let us know, we will get that information relayed to us quickly. If you know number 606, not on our roster. So, but Tinker is jamming for Copenhagen. Jammer now engaging with the front of that pack for Copenhagen. We are slowly making our way to the apex, but still no lead declared.
Great way to hold the line, forcing
Pushing, yeah.
Yeah.
Able to open up a hole on the inside. Tinker gets lead.
Tinker through 4-4. Meanwhile, that's by headed to the penalty box for Copenhagen.
Number 44 getting knocked to the ground by Filipino.
See, it looks like maybe that was an attempted star pass. It did not work out. Filipino.
That's the jammer.
Thank you for that clarification. So just like it was just a number switch. That's all that happened there. And so we're going to put a little notation here to make sure that we give Filipino all of the credit that they deserve for this. If I'm not mistaken, you might have written down this. That's a 50% jam lead percentage for that jammer Filipino.
Yes. It's a 50%. Right now, we've got 3 leads for Copenhagen, 3 leads for Palouse. So it's 50% everywhere. Although that was 11 points for Copenhagen on that jam. So the score's now 38-24. They opened up a little space there.
Fricks back on the Rydell jammer line, facing off against Whiskey Smash.
Like I said, we're just going down a full skater roster.
A cut being called on Fricks.
Oh.
So this is going to be
sorry.
a power jam for Whiskey Smash. Don't apologize. You didn't do it. It wasn't your fault.
No, I did not do it. However, I was very certain that was going to be lead. Codebreaker is out of the box and returning to the track. That was a big hit there by number 44, Iowa. Whiskey Smash getting driven back.
So Smash looking for some help from her friends. And Fricks is out and through.
Don't get very trying to manage to get a hit on Whiskey Smash.
So Whiskey Smash made it through, but did not pass everyone. Was a no pass, no penalty. So we won't have a lead for this one.
We will not. This will be a 2-minute leadless jam. Looks like because that Whiskey Smash decided why not star pass. So Into Hood is now the jammer of record for Palouse.
In the hood. Meanwhile, Bruce Lee taking a seat in the penalty box, joining Pony, who is now released.
4 points in the air for each is going to bring everybody to 8. So we're trading points at this point of the game.
Ooh,
Was that?
nice hit there.
Yeah, that was Saboteur.
Saboteur, yeah. And that jam ticks down to a close. Still pretty even. I mean, 9-11. It's been the story of this game so far. So we're only getting ready to head into Jam 10, but certainly it has been back and forth. We do have an official review. Looks like it's being called by police. Again, we will certainly get some information about the official review as it comes into us. But now this gives me an opportunity to tell you to visit derbywarehouse.com for all of your Derby gear needs with free shipping and free returns.
Ugh.
I find that very compelling.
I love free returns.
I do too.
You can order 2 of every size and not have to worry about any.
And then just try it on when you want.
Send back. Yeah, no awful dressing room lighting. No one else
Or
can
mirrors.
see. Yes.
The crazy mirrors.
No, and no one else can you try something on, you're like, nope, this is embarrassing. Nope. You don't have to worry about you can sit down to put on pants.
Mm-hmm.
Just all sorts of wonderful things. Free returns are the best.
The best.
So you should check out Derby Warehouse and do your Derby shopping from your living room.
That's right.
Or your bedroom. Or your bathroom. I'm not going to judge you.
Right. We don't have cameras in your house. It's fine.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So also you can check out Stakes Contact Wear. Put some stakes between you and your opponent. Visit Stakes, STEAKS, wear.com. I feel like there's a pun going on there.
You know, I'm a little hungry right now. I'm a little peckish, and so
You want a steak?
steaks were like, they sound pretty good. I mean,
Yeah, I could also use a steak. Any kind of steak. A tofu steak, a beef steak. I don't care. Just a steak.
Yes.
Cauliflower steak. You know, I just want something I
steak
can
is
like
just
cut with a knife.
describing, yeah,
Yeah.
that there's a slab there. And
So, you know, a tournament weekend, you eat a lot of like handheld garbage food, and I could really use like something that involves two hands to eat,
right.
a knife.
Maybe, yeah, some cutlery for sure.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you know, something I need to like sit down to do.
Okay.
Here we go. We're gonna hear from
Where's the damn camera?
Harlequin Davidson.
Maybe. There we go.
Palouse used their official review to seek a blocking a down skater penalty for against the Copenhagen blocker against their jammer. Upon review, it was determined that while there was close proximity, the jammer was not impeded from being able to get back up, and so Palouse will not retain their review.
So they didn't retain the review. It sounded like they were looking for blocking
They were
against a down skater.
out of bounds, blocking out of bounds, yeah.
And they determined that that did not happen.
Right. We have on the headsets, and it didn't seem to come through very clearly there. I
No.
was hoping that the stream
would
would
come
be
through.
able to
Yeah.
hear pretty clearly, but
It didn't.
So, yeah,
I think she
looking
said blocking
for-
a downed skater.
oh,
which-
downed.
Yeah.
I see it. See, I can't even understand
But
some of
I
it.
I
So.
took the headset off, so I can kind of hear.
Well,
Yeah.
you're super smart.
I mean, am I though?
You are.
Cracking the whip now, jamming for Palouse up against Copenhagen. Copenhagen, yes. Copenhagen is still playing this game. Reggae,
Yes.
Copenhagen.
Did visit the penalty boxes, sitting there with the pivot stripe.
That's Aula. Lead awarded to Palouse. Their first time since Jam 3, so
Looks like Vi might also have joined Ayula in the box.
I can't see who it is. I trust you that you know.
There have been quite a few visits on and off, and I feel just intuitively will check definitely on the penalties here at the intermission, but I feel like they've been sort of trading, a couple bodies for one side, couple bodies for the other side. So we'll look and take a look at penalties and see if they're going to play a role here.
It definitely feels that way because you look at the track, you're never like, wow, there's only one player from this team there. You know, there's maybe one or two at a time. I wouldn't say penalty trouble isn't something that's come to my mind. We're looking at an official timeout. Score, there was 3 in that last jam for Palouse, so 36-49. 13-point game.
And 13 minutes left in this first half.
It's an unlucky number. I'm nervous now. I'm scared. Are you scared? I'm scared.
A little scared.
It's okay. The sun's out. It's beautiful. I'm in Eugene,
The
Oregon.
weather has been
true.
outstanding for this tournament.
I love this tournament's the perfect time of year and the perfect place.
Mm-hmm.
It's always delightful. And I go home usually, and spring has actually started there. Is it like the middle of the night in Copenhagen, though? I bet you it's like the middle of the night there.
You know, I don't know how many hours they are, but I'm quite sure you're right.
84 for Megatron and 18 for Foxy Phantom.
Megatron, so far all the way across the
Megatron working back and forth across that pack. A little spill there
Copenhagen as they manage to reform in front
by
of
Foxy
the other
Phantom. Foxy Phantom now at the front of the pack, trying to get a little assistance there from the pivot, and it does. the pivot was able to break open enough of that defensive wall to help Foxy Phantom get out, pick up lead for Copenhagen.
And while that action was going on, Luxury Active with the pivot stripe on her helmet is taking a seat in the penalty box. And also headed to the penalty box, that is number 321, Pony from Copenhagen. There's the no pack. Pack is here, all in exact sync from the officials. That was delightful.
Yes. Now, Megatron is out of the pack. Fox Phantom's going to call that secure 4 points. Tickets for the International WFTDA playoffs and championships will go on sale June 17th, 2019.
That's so soon.
Mark your calendars now. Get tickets at WFTDA.com/tickets.
So soon.
I know.
Filipino jamming for
Yes.
Palouse up against Tinker for Copenhagen.
I love it. Oh, right up the inside line, Filipino.
Yeah, it's just, I love that when a jammer's, I see a hole and I'm just going to commit to it.
Just go for it.
You know, one person saw, if one person had seen Filipino coming, they could have just knocked her right out of bounds, but nope.
Oh! Okay, so before that jam was called, we saw Codebreaker head to the box. I'm interested to see if that hit there was, if they're going to call it late. Yep.
Yeah,
there we
and
go.
everybody knew. Jester didn't
Just
hear
like-
the whistles, just laid out. Tinker was like, oh, oops. Like,
That was
helped
me.
Tinker up. They made up, and now she's
Yes,
headed to the penalty back.
so-
Where, deservedly. I mean, sometimes you're like, yep,
Just
I did
like
that.
you're involved in the game and you're doing your job. And
So number
Okay.
57, Kraken Skulls, who just picks up a lead.
Tumbleweed very slow to get up, and so will remove themselves from the track. So they'll be down a blocker here, but there are 2 blockers in the penalty box for Palouse, 1 blocker in the box for Copenhagen.
So really picked up some speed. Frick's breaking through and picking up 4 points. We'll see if there's points to go to Palouse. So it's going to be 38-57 now.
Okay, so just a really quick update. Tumbleweed removed themselves from the track, was able to get a little bit of assistance from our medical professionals. We certainly appreciate their expertise here this weekend and every Derby event. And so Tumbleweed will just sit down for a few minutes and take care of themselves and then maybe return.
Score adjustment just happened, and 3 points to Palouse that last jam. So 39-57. Team timeout being taken by Palouse. 9:35 left in the half. I think they decided they're just going to take a team timeout, get their heads together,
Maybe just
figure out what they're going to do
reset.
next.
Yeah. The team did get a good look at what Copenhagen had chosen to field for the next jam, and so maybe they made a few notes. So everybody lining up at the pivot line here.
Whiskey Smash and Renegade on that Right L channel. Right L is a proud sponsor of the Big O 2019.
So that is Reggae taking on Whiskey Smash of the Rydell Jammer line. Whiskey Smash just hanging on to the line, just such balance. Manages to stay in bounds no matter how many times there were hits. Does pick up lead for Palouse.
Wow, seeing from getting hit on the outside, seeing a hole straight through the inside. Whiskey Smash just draws a laser line, gets in and around. 4 points for Palouse.
Now Reggae is out of the pack on the initial eligible to put points on the board. That pack is flying around the track. Whiskey Smash trying to get through and slip in a couple of points here. I think we've got two fingers in the air for that pack, or that trip, rather.
So 6 for Whiskey Smash on that jam. Unanswered points, which is what Palouse wants to see. 45 to 57 now.
Still a very closed game, and we are quickly approaching the 8-minute mark, but there will be a timeout called by Copenhagen. There you get a nice view of the team there from your stream.
Taking a moment, having a chat. It's kind of a good time to do that. Hit This Derby Gear has everything you need to get rolling. From skates to protective gear and unmatched service for all your derby needs. Before you hit the track, hit this.
You know, when we have some downtime, Tober, I always like to talk about food.
Oh, please, I'm starving. Let's discuss food.
Hashtag Big O Food.
Show
Big O
me your
2019,
snacks.
sorry, Big O 2019 food. Eugene, one of the things I really like about Eugene is the number of small, non-franchise sort of delicious restaurants here. And so we've had an opportunity to go around and visit quite a few of them. If you are ever in the Pacific Northwest, I just recommend eating as many places as possible.
I need you to tell me where to go because I only ever eat at Sizzle Pie when I'm here because I have pizza problem.
Well, Sizzle Pie is quite good. I'll have to make a list.
18, that is Foxy Phantom. Jimmy against Crack in the Whip. Foxy Phantom is lead.
So, Aola headed to the box. Aola is wearing the pivot stripe, and so that just gives the jammer a few, one less option out there. But Foxy Phantom may not need the pivot to pass to. Certainly needs the pivot to block.
Luxury Active is the jammer. There was a star pass, and everybody just scored 4 there. We're still going.
They're still going. I think maybe perhaps the Foxy Phantom might be trying to empty out that penalty box, which is now empty. Really nice hit there. But I think that was I Don't Care Bear. Yeah, I'm getting validation from the house. Don't Care Bear. Made a nice hit there. But an amazing 12 points put on the board by Copenhagen, but 6 picked up by Palouse.
Coming the score to 69 to 51. I think you were right. Copenhagen there was trying to clear the box. And then just trusting their blockers to hold the jammer as long as it took to do that. And
Yes.
they got it done.
Jam number 16, Tinker and Meg.
Tinker back on the right L jam line, taking on Megatron. And Tinker stretches out the pack as Copenhagen does a good job of hanging on to Megatron here near the jam line. Tinker's got control of the track.
Yeah, both these teams are either having trouble or they just don't employ that brace two-wall defense. It's been a lot, it's a very kind of physical one-on-one blocking in the pack type game. Causing these scoring runs. 4 for Copenhagen on that jam.
And here we are going to have Fricks taking on Filipino. See, we do see Tumbleweed back out there on the track. So probably fixed up by our medical professionals and ready to return to the track. Oh, nice little move there.
Filipino finds an aisle on the outside during the scrum, gets lead jammer.
So a blocker apiece in the penalty box for Copenhagen and Palouse. Just
Pack is just
yeah.
all over the place. Makes it pretty easy for these jammers to score some points.
Yes.
Filipino comes in hot though, takes a hit. Trying to see who did that. Looks like it was Saboteur, and causes the call off 6-4 on the jam, 57-77 in the game.
We are right at 4 minutes, 15 seconds left in the first half of this game between Palouse River Rollers All-Stars and Copenhagen Roller Derby All-Stars.
Jimmy Whiskey Smash up against Reggae. Whiskey Smash out very fast.
Just saw that opening and Whiskey Smash just ran up the inside.
Maybe her name should be Whiskey Flash.
Maybe. And again through the inside. Picks up the 4 quickly. Reggae is out of the pack and eligible to put points on the board, but is now contending with that defense there.
This pack is moving so fast that it's just so hard to push people out of bounds. You saw right there, Palouse catching Reggae and then trying to positionally block, slow her down, and knock her out. But at speed, she was just able to keep pushing and pushing and get past them.
I'm not sure if Reggae was able to get any hits in there, but it looks like 2 for Whiskey Smash.
6 total then for Whiskey Smash, 4 for Reggae.
Experience world-class edging with the Radar Halo, available in a full range of hardnesses from 84A all the way up to 103A. There is a Halo for everyone.
Ooh, this sounds like it'll work on many, many floors. Here we have Crack in the Whip, jamming against Foxy Phantom. Foxy Phantom pushing her hips out first and is lead.
I think it was Dynamite with the potential drawback. Didn't quite get the whole drawback that they were looking for.
Yeah, and Don't Care Bear and Crack in the Whip trying to knock Foxy Phantom out with that kind of like nail and hammer approach, but neither of them could get her over the line, and so she picked up those 4 points and is now back in the pack a second time, looking for even more points. They're going to try a braced 3-wall, so 2-wall with a brace. And they're having a little bit better luck with that. They are able to push her out of bounds.
So Saboteur is the I believe the pivot. Yes, that's correct. I'm not see the number clearly. Saboteur is the pivot. And so Saboteur is doing both the offensive moves as well as the defensive move, running back, helping with the tripod, coming forward, trying to break up the tripod to help the jammer. So doing a really good job out there covering a lot of areas.
Yeah, it's definitely, every single time I feel like I'm looking at a number. Not every single time, but a lot of times I feel like I'm looking for a number. I'm like, oh, that's Saboteur.
Just everywhere. Just doing a lot of work. So Inda Hood sitting in the penalty box as we head into jam number 20.
That was 8 unanswered points for Copenhagen in jam 19, so it brings them to 89. Still 65 for Palouse.
Kraken Skulls facing off against Tinker. So we do have a high block assessed to Kraken Skulls, and so this will be a power jam, control of the track given to Tinker. I will be interested to see the penalty information over the half because we're seeing a lot more bodies head to that penalty box. That was Alex. Now taking a seat for Copenhagen. 2 blockers for Palouse. It's number 69, Weird Al, and number 33, Sin with a Grin. So we are running on jam clock time now.
Beautiful, beautiful
hit
by Jester. Slowing down that Copenhagen Jam are going to bring 12 points to Copenhagen at the end of this half. 101 for them going into halftime, 65. Looks like we're going into an official review, though.
Yeah, so very slowly.
This is Copenhagen's official review. They have not yet used it this half, so they're going to use it now. And the period clock did expire, so we probably, almost certainly, will not see more time in the half, but we might hear about an issue.
And so we do get the note there from, there we go. So we are officially at our intermission. So we will check on some information and make sure to clarify everything that we can for you as we come back. But now is the time, Tober, to stretch your legs, refresh your beverage.
I agree.
And come back so we can finish out the second half of our game between Palouse and Copenhagen.
Go, and we'll see you back here in about 9 minutes. Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
We are back. Yeah, come on in here. Come on in the screen. So we have a couple of things to report in terms of penalties in particular. We went and checked with our wonderful officials at the penalty box. So Palouse is playing a really clean game. They have 0 people with 4 penalties. They have 1 person with 3 penalties. So they're really just playing an overall clean game, and the penalties that they do have are well spread amongst the team. For Copenhagen, however, they have 3 players with 4 penalties right now, and those players are Dynamite, Pony, and Tinker. And we have certainly seen Tinker be on the line several times, make several good runs, scoring runs for Copenhagen. And so I think we might have a penalty story in terms of how this game plays out.
Yeah, so it's like, it's yellow. You know, if it was going to be red, green, yellow, it's red, yellow, green, whatever. They're in yellow penalty trouble. Not yet red, but not green.
Red. The bottom of the yellow.
Yeah, I'd say probably that's true. 2 power jams in the first half. They both went to Palouse, so Copenhagen penalties.
So remember, right as we headed into the intermission, we had, that's Alex and Sim with a Grin, and 1 more blocker, which is Weird Al. There we go. So those 3 blockers. So it will be a slight track advantage to Copenhagen as we start the second half.
Score, in case you're curious, is 101-65 with Copenhagen in the lead. And looks like we have Fricks and a Whiskey Smash on the jammer line.
If you're just turning into track number 2, Palouse is in the white jerseys with the sort of aqua accents, and Copenhagen's in the black jerseys with the gold across the shoulders.
And, here we go. This is our official review from the first half.
Correct.
I think it's on. Prior to the halftime, Copenhagen used their official review to seek a clockwise penalty for contact to their jammer. Upon review, it was determined that the blocker initiated contact while foot was moving in the derby direction. Therefore, no clockwise penalty is warranted, and Copenhagen did not retain their review.
So in case you couldn't hear that, Copenhagen asked for a clockwise call on a Palouse blocker, and the officials determined that that blocker made contact while moving in the derby direction, or, not clockwise.
Right.
And they didn't retain their official review, which there was no time left, so they didn't need it.
Didn't need to. Now, up the inside lane very quickly, that's Fricks. Picking up a lead jammer for Copenhagen.
And our penalty box is empty now. Everybody is back on the track.
Fricks through the pack with 4. Star pass. Jester wearing the star now for Palouse. Tries to sweep in there, was unable to pick up any points.
It looks like it's going to be 6 for Copenhagen, but we're waiting for this scoreboard to pick up the 2 that the ref is signaling. Okay, we're in a...
So yeah, we're just they're trying to get.
It says official review, but I think it's an OTO, an official timeout, because the jam timer.
Yeah.
You can't see; it's not on the screen, but the jam timer is It's 9-inch wheels touching her shoulders, not making an O with her hands.
Right.
So I'm going to say OTO.
What? There were 2 points additionally put up for Copenhagen, and I think there's a problem with recording it somehow on the scoreboard, because the scorekeeper here was communicating with the jam timer to say, yes, I see your two points that you put in the air.
There it is. There's the
there
6
we go.
points.
Now we got it. Just want to make sure everybody gets the appropriate number of points.
It's astounding. I NSO'd for quite a while, and it's astounding how much information that gets moved around the track and recorded.
Yes.
Without anyone being able to hear each other or talk to each other
Right.
most of the time. Cut called on the outside. We'll see who goes to the box. It is the Palouse jammer.
That's cracking the whip.
Cracking the whip.
The whip.
This is a power jam for Copenhagen, and
it's a very quick equipment recovery from Dynamite.
it's a reggae, even though your screen says Saboteur that's jamming.
I read this thing in front of you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so seeing some more bodies. Now that is Pony. Pony headed to the penalty box. Remember, that was one of the skaters.
So that'll be 5 for Pony, yeah.
So it'll be 5 for Pony. I had mentioned that Pony is one of the names, I think I mentioned to you, Tober, not actually on stream, that Pony is one of the names that we've said before as an effective blocker on the track, and so that 5th penalty will be felt.
Yes, this is true. Another penalty being called, this one for Palouse, number 27, Don't Care Bear. Looks like 15 points went to Copenhagen on that jam, so they're really opening this game up now wide. 122 for them. This is the highest scoring jam of the game so far.
That's worthy of some excitement for someone.
And
That is Foxy Phantom taking the Rydell jam line against Megatron.
Megatron just wedged in this brace 2 wall and just fighting to try and get some daylight. Pushing that wall into the scrum, which will give her some relief maybe.
Foxy Phantom trying to go to the inside. It was denied, and a
multiplayer called on Megatron. You don't see a lot of those with jammers.
So again, a seat in the penalty box. Now also reporting to the box, Alex and Metfunds. Also the pivot for Palouse getting a lot more action there in the penalty box this second half.
Foxy Phantom taking a hit from Kraken Skulls, but Kraken Skulls was deemed to have back blocked and so is now taking a seat in the penalty box.
Yeah, Kraken Skulls there. Jester now released as the pivot. But Megatron didn't need a pivot.
Megatron out of the box, out of the pack, is now scoring eligible. We'll see how many points
Ooh.
Foxy Phantom.
Excellent hit there by Don't Care Bear.
It's going to be 7 points total by Foxy Phantom.
It's going to be 7 points to Copenhagen, bringing them to 129. Palouse sitting at 65, going into jam number 3 of this half.
Okay, so we do have an official timeout being called.
We're taking some time to officially.
Yes.
Just taking a moment to say happy birthday to Steve-O, the coach for Copenhagen. It's your
So-
birthday.
Yes, happy birthday. Now, there was a little bit of discussion there with one of the skating officials. Netvoons is out of the box. The officials actually said return to the track, so we have all of the skaters for Copenhagen on the track. Kraken Skulls standing in the box as we begin jam number 4 of the second half.
It's Filipino jamming for Palouse, and that is Unts for Copenhagen.
It's out as lead jammer for Copenhagen.
The first time we're the star in this game. Well, Copenhagen.
Sliding there from Uns, but they return to the track behind that defensive wall. And now Uns is out of the pack. Now,
Star Pass was
yeah.
completed by Palouse. The jammer at the end of that jam was Chrissy Curbstomp.
the Kraken Skulls has returned to the penalty box. That's 2 really quick penalties picked up.
So I will say, this weekend
Very clean game the first half, but I
scoring past jam.
intuitively feel that Palouse has sent more people to the penalty box already this half. We're only 24 minutes. Oh, 6 minutes into the half. 24 minutes left in the half.
So we got Whiskey Smash against Fricks.
Only 20 jams in the last half. That's a really big difference from some of the games that I've seen. A lot longer.
Fricks out as lead.
Headed to the penalty box, there's a Copenhagen blocker. It is number 55, Bay.
That's also Ayula returning to the penalty box. And I really think Copenhagen's going to have to get control of the penalty situation.
Copenhagen down by 2 blocks.
And so,
penalty box right now.
through the pack backwards.
Cut now. Calls on a Copenhagen blocker. That's 236 Candy.
They turned around.
They had only 1 blocker on the track, but 2 are now returning. So there'll be 3 Copenhagen blockers in a moment. All 4 on the track for Palouse. Everybody scored 8 points so far.
It's like that's Candy sitting in the box.
Yes. And somebody sat next to Candy, but I can't see
It
who.
is very difficult to see from this angle. But now it's
Oh,
Pardon me for coughing
it's
into the
Fricks.
microphone.
This is a power jam.
This is a power jam, and that is what's happening because the lead has been rescinded. But there are only about 10 seconds left of this jam. I felt like it was an interesting strategy to have your jammer run it long.
The jammer for Palouse is Jester. There was a star pass, and at the end, Jester and whoever the first jammer was, they scored 19 total together, 10 for Copenhagen.
There by two different jammers. The highest scoring jam so
Fricks. It was Fricks that was jamming that last one. Now, the penalty box has been cleared. We will start jam number 6 with everybody on the track. Copenhagen taking a little moment to have a little discussion.
In this ROTO,
It's so interesting. The point spread is fairly large here,
future is
but I really feel like
perhaps you have now been informed
unless
of this.
Copenhagen can get control of those penalties at this point,
Saturday night, 8 p.m.
we could see a big turnaround here. Not sure if it's well within range in 22 minutes for Palouse, but
They may have just joined a
things can turn around pretty quickly, and I think those penalties could play a role.
I agree, as well as definitely when you're talking about number of blockers on the track and you have 3 sitting for almost a full jam, it makes it a little bit easier for Palouse to be scoring points on you because you only have to pass 1 player to get 4.
So I'm reading this.
Especially when you can't score in return. So for
Right.
a while there was, a power jam situation, which is great because that's how you get those 9 points on the differential that Palouse got.
Okay, that's what I'm understanding.
Should be pretty awesome. There's some
Looks like cracking the whip, trying to get in front of Reggae.
They're ready to play, but whatever the officials are doing right now, they're not ready. Looks like the head official, Harlequin Davidson, is having a chat with our coaching staff. Not quite sure what about, but
Wait to see. The discussion is happening just off your camera view there,
Both coaches
but
standing out there in the middle of the track
now
right now.
everybody is.
Supposed to embarrass one
and
of
now
them.
these coaches are calling their teams over to tell them something. So whatever
Yes.
whatever the head official relayed to these coaches are taking
Right.
very seriously.
Yes.
Birthday.
And based on the hand signals,
Should be just a little bit of embarrassment as I put this out very loudly on a microphone because
Yeah.
this is what
So
happens.
everyone is getting relayed this
I
information.
feel
and
like it
we're-
has something to do with like what you would call a can opener hit because everyone keeps bending their knees and then like popping their shoulder when they're talking about it. I have no idea. I'm speculating wildly based on body language.
This is birthday. He's paying attention.
Right.
Apparently.
I think then once they have communicated with who's on the track, the coaches are now revisiting their benches and making sure to relay the same information. So it seems that maybe the officials were cautioning about some behavior that they saw that was either unsafe or something that they didn't want to see.
First lead of the half for Palouse, cracking the whip, picking it up. It's always really nice to see teams take warnings from the officials
Yeah.
very seriously.
Yeah.
Both these teams definitely did. Like,
We saw this happening and we would like to caution you, and then the coaches take it immediately back to their players and say this is the way things should be now.
don't do this anymore.
Yes.
I mean, a big part of a tournament is adjusting to the floor, adjusting to the refs, I mean, the officials in general. So, like, how they officiate, what's different. And the officials are always so open and communicative about how they're seeing things or how they're calling things that, what makes a great team is the ability to understand and adjust to that.
Yeah, and the all of the officials and volunteers and just anyone working a derby event, the number one concern always is safety, unless you have a jammer penalty. In which case, now we have a jammer penalty, and that will be Foxy Phantom sitting in the penalty box. This is the power jam situation that we were just talking about. Megatron now engaging with the pack on a scoring pass. The teammates of Megatron out there trying to keep that Copenhagen defense from locking down the jammer.
It's the first time that Palouse has been able to put 2 leads together in a row, which is interesting because Copenhagen started this half with 5 in a row.
So, like to point out again, Saboteur. Oh no! Now we have the reversal of fortunes. A high block assessed for Megatron will run the whole 2 minutes. Oh, and that was Saboteur. I was just bragging on Saboteur. Saboteur heads to the penalty box, and now we have yet another body in the penalty box as a blocker. The pivot for Palouse. Foxy Phantom out of the penalty box now, engaging with the pack. Almost makes it through. It gets a little shoulder from Weird Al.
Weird Al says eat it. Just eat it.
Oh, and right at the very end there. So it was an attempt there by Codebreaker to stop the jammer, but just a little too far away from the pack. Picks up the penalty.
Okay, that's the end of the Jam 8. Go to Copenhagen on this 4 to Palouse.
So that was the kind of thing Palouse needed, was the jammer penalty from Copenhagen to really run out the jam, but then their jammer picked up the penalty as well. So they need to do the first part of that.
Yes.
Not
You
the
don't need
second part.
you don't need the penalty too. You just need the scoring.
Yeah.
Just bring the scoring. Scores 151-90. 18 and a half minutes left in the game. That's Filipino jamming up against Unsa.
Filipino just getting locked down by the Copenhagen defense. Meanwhile, Unsa gets out of the pack. Oh, such a nicely timed. Filipino was trying to play a little defense, get in front of Unsa, and Unsa was just too fast. Managed to dip around.
Helmet cover is off of Filipino's head, but doesn't seem to be looking to pass it, just to be invisible. But Copenhagen is got a laser lock,
Yeah.
so you're not being invisible here quite yet. Looks like the pivot actually is in the box. That's intellectually active. Also in the box is the other pivot, Tumbleweed.
So now we got a pair of pivots in the box. Oh, nice hit there by Pony on Filipino. Filipino looking around, but the saving grace is now just entering the pack. And there comes the pivot. Intellectually active. In a good position to receive the star, but Copenhagen is wise.
Yeah, great
Wise
work.
to the move.
That was Dynamite and Pony just blocking the star
Yep.
pass. Just nope.
Just
Nope.
The two wall there was just all Copenhagen needed, just to stay in front of that star pass and not let it happen.
Yeah, because when you're really focused on passing the star, being pushed out, it makes it so it's more of a moving target. It's harder
Yeah,
for that
absolutely.
pivot to grab it.
And we are right at 16 minutes 33 seconds left in the second half. We have an official review that has been called. And if you aren't able to hear our head official, we will relay that information to you as soon as we find out what it is.
The social media team is working all weekend. The social media team is working all weekend to bring you live tweets and Facebook coverage throughout the event to supplement this awesome live stream. So make sure you check out the social media being put out by the Big O.
So many volunteers here. I'm always impressed by how quickly they can get this track. There are 3 tracks, actually, and they are all laid with sport court. And so it's sort of, they have to come in and just sweep this whole place and make it happen. And then they come in after the last game tonight, and they'll sweep it all away.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast it goes down and comes up. And also, earlier today I took some pictures. Sport court was coming up a little bit. You got a ref and some security and some track maintenance and EMTs all working together to pound the sport court back down.
Yep.
It's a delight.
It's not, I mean, if you're uninitiated, to the uninitiated, it seems like it might not be that difficult to do, and yet.
Oh, it is so difficult.
It is very, very difficult.
I mean, one of my favorite things about this sport in general is just that everybody kind of pulls together to make it happen. And it's both highly organized and also a little by the seat of your pants all at the same time. And I love it.
That's a great way to describe it. There is a plan.
Yeah.
But it doesn't often go exactly as you want.
Think about all the amazing stories you have. Like, I was at a brouhaha once where there was a thunderstorm and the lights went out in the middle of a jam.
Yep.
Or, how many tournaments have, the roof leaked and people are out there with mops in between jams, or even as the skaters skate by and they go out and mop and they pull back.
So here's the weirdest... Oh, I'm sorry.
There we go. We'll get back to this.
Yeah.
Palouse was using their official review to seek a direction of game penalty on a Copenhagen blocker. Upon review, it was determined that all action was legal, and therefore no directional penalty will be assessed, and Palouse will not retain their official review.
So yeah, that was much clearer,
yes.
I think. But just in case you weren't able to take that in, those of you on the stream, Palouse was looking for a direction penalty to be called on Copenhagen, and there was not enough evidence to support that, and so they will lose their review.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here and just say my personal review philosophy is never ever use your review on a penalty. You'll never, if they didn't see it the first time, they're not going to remember it differently. Unless you're looking at trying not to get your star blocker fouled out or something like that. I don't understand the use of the series. So you get 30 seconds on the track, you use your review, you lose it, and you get at best 30 seconds on the track without that blocker, and at worst nothing, and you lose your review. And then later, if you have a scoring or a jammer thing to review, you can't. So
it is interesting to watch the different strategies of the different coaches for a review, because it does matter who you would be asking for that review on. It could be that someone has a blocker that's been very effective is sitting on 6, and maybe you're asking for that penalty in hopes of maybe getting that blocker off the track. Yeah. So I'm always really fascinated by strategy and why coaches choose the way that they do.
Yeah, I would say never do it on a penalty. Well, unless you're trying to get somebody fouled out, or you're trying to get someone
A, B, C, D,
out.
or E. Right?
Yeah.
So Reggae out as lead jammer for Copenhagen. Cracking the whip wearing the star for Palouse.
Cracking the whip is scoring eligible right now, scoring points in the track. Decides to make a quick call out of that 4 points, and we're done with the jam.
Very fast jam. Now right at the very end of that jam, unfortunately, that's another penalty on Saboteur. And they've had 2 or 3 penalties in the last couple of jams, so without the actual live, penalty tracker here with us, I cannot be sure, but I can tell you that certainly the coach is now having a conversation with Saboteur.
It was interesting because Steve was standing right there at the line of the penalty box, Timer is watching carefully. They're having a conversation. You can talk to people in the penalty box.
Right.
You just can't
Can't
step
over that
into
line.
the penalty box.
Correct. And they're both being very careful not to get too close, but they ended with a little hand slap there. So
It's a team
maybe that was a
timeout
good
being called by
conversation.
Palouse in the meantime.
Okay, awesome. Probably just a little encouragement talk there. As we have mentioned, Saboteur has been very effective out here on the track during this bout. Is a body that I'm sure Copenhagen is not eager to lose to expulsion.
We got just about 15 minutes left. Nobody's fouling out yet. We're doing
Oh, no,
okay.
No one's fouling out yet. I didn't mean to scare anybody.
I was like, it's all right. I'm just feeling, Actually, I'm hungry, if you really want to know.
This is my state of existence is hungry.
Yes. In case you were curious, which you don't care. But if anyone cares, I could use a sandwich.
Kraken Skulls up against Foxy Phantom. Not a lot of movement here so far, but that one penalty seemed to shake up the pack enough to let Kraken Skulls out. Alex picking up a penalty.
It's only the third lead for Palouse this half.
Keola also in the box, so that's 2 blockers down for Copenhagen. Kraken Skulls 3 for 4. Now we'll have a blocker from Palouse visit the penalty box. I believe that's Lady McDeath, yes. Oh, now we're just trading out bodies now. That is Weird Al back to the penalty box for Palouse.
Looks like 2 points on that past 10 total for Palouse, making the score 103 to 163. This is a 60-point game.
It was a very nice jam, except for the penalties. That was a very nice jam by Palouse, and that's kind of what they want to do: keep Copenhagen scoreless.
Make it
Inch their
closer.
way back in, yeah. Oh, Bones out there with the star and nice little spin move. Bones out. That's Sim with a grin headed to the penalty box right when Lady Macbeth gets released. Dynamite now headed to the penalty box for Copenhagen. Now, Dynamite was one of the players, along with Pony and Tinker, that had 4 penalties
Right.
coming into this half.
Looks like coach stopped by the box quickly, said something to Dynamite, and is now headed into the center. So I'm curious to see what that is.
I believe we have a timeout. Yeah, that's what's happening right there.
It's a timeout called by Copenhagen. Copenhagen is having a unbelievably good weekend. So they're ranked 173 right now. Palouse is ranked 143. They're clearly beating Palouse. They also played 2 games yesterday. They beat Sonoma 172 to 103, and they beat Emerald City 211 to 105. So Flat Track Stats is reporting them as one of the movers of the week.
Very nice.
They're up a lot, like 50-something,
Yeah.
of their ranking points. They also played Gorge and beat them 184 to
Yes.
99. So they've come to the U.S.
Right.
to fix their rankings. They've come here to fix their ranking.
Yeah, and it may be a function geographically of where they're located. I'm not sure. I don't have a map here and didn't look at it, but that may have they play a role in how they're ranked, and so coming to tournaments like this where they get to play a lot of teams over a weekend, they made a fabulous showing here.
Yeah, I mean,
They get to adjust those rankings and just tweak them and make them more accurate.
well, you always get rankings like shake-ups when you have different areas of the world meet each other, right?
Right,
Because you're
right.
playing the teams. This is lead that went to Palouse Whiskey Smash's lead. If you have teams that are playing, always playing each other, they're locally, they're close to each other, even regionally, then if all of them get better, there's no way to know that all of them got better.
Right.
Or if all of them got worse.
Right.
So you almost need to level set at tournaments like this. Dock City also is having an unbelievably good weekend, winning their games by quite a large margin. And some teams have not great weekends. They know that they're either overranked and it's time to adjust, and they're in a building year and their rankings come down a little bit, and they come to these tournaments and kind of prepare for it. Dock City is here from Sweden, so both Dock City and Copenhagen having unbelievably good weekends,
Yes.
climbing in the rankings and doing so because we're level setting.
Yeah. It is. Oh,
Couple of whistles blow, that means at least 8 penalties.
It's a great time of year to do that too, because hopefully their ranking will be sorted out before we get to tournament playoff season.
oh no! A cut track is assessed to reggae,
This will be
and
a
also
project.
Dynamite. So Dynamite. So there are 2 blockers in the box for Copenhagen plus the jammer. So Dynamite
Saboteur
was.
too.
Oh no, Saboteur.
So we'll see. Oh, looks like they're going to release Saboteur, so Saboteur's not close.
And yet another. So now we
Bye.
have 3 blockers in the box for Copenhagen. Well, 1 standing, 2 in the box, 1 standing, and the jammer. And so
It was a lot. There was not very many
there
Copenhagen
was
skaters. There
not
was one.
a
There was
lot
the
of
one.
skaters, but this is what Palouse wanted. What cracking the whip, just working the magic, just keeping going around the track, making good use of that power jam.
I'm pretty sure Dynamite fouled out. They're standing and not returning to the track.
They are standing and not returning. Oh, my goodness. So Don't Care Bear came in very.
Saboteur headed back to the box at the end of the jam. We'll
Oh,
see what
no.
happens there. I think
This is the penalty thing that's going to happen.
the head
Here.
ref's at the box. The penalty box manager and the penalty timer just talking to the. Oh, yep, here comes the
Yep.
OTO. So, it's good. Having spent years as an NSO, I know exactly what's happening right now. Hey, I
So,
have
yeah,
somebody who has
but-
8. I have somebody that has 7. Let me look, and then yeah.
So Dynamite for sure appears to have fouled out simply because Dynamite is standing to the side of the penalty box.
Dynamite looks
Now,
upset that Stevel's over here trying to calm them down.
Saboteur, we already mentioned, had been to the box several times. Saboteur was not one of the skaters that had the most penalties as we headed into the half, but certainly has been in the box several times.
Quite a bit, yeah.
And so,
There's no whiteboard. I can't see the penalty count, but the penalty, it looks like the penalty tracker is also in the middle. So we've got 2 coaches. So over by the penalty box where you can't see, you have both coaches, the head official, the penalty tracker, the penalty box manager, and the penalty timer. So we got some penalty stuff going on.
right, and I think what they're discussing about with Don't Care Bear is just that slide into the penalty box, because you
Yeah.
can actually receive some extra stuff if you
If you
approach the box too hot.
If
right?
you hit the chair and move the chair, you get another penalty.
Right.
If you hit the official, you're done.
Right.
So look, I don't think the chairs hit the official, and
I do not think the bench slid. I'm not sure if the bench can slide.
Yeah, it did move.
There
the
we
bench
go.
moved.
The bench
I
moved.
saw
There
the
we
movement,
go.
but it didn't hit anyone. So I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that I saw the coach indicating 3 on their wrist, but I don't know if it's 3 or 2 because I don't know what the third one would be. But it's going to be, it doesn't matter. Your intent doesn't matter.
Right. Exactly.
Don't Care Bear clearly intended to approach
Yeah.
the box slowly and sit down calmly and didn't.
And didn't. And
But move the chair, and the rule says if you move the bench, that's a safety risk. You
that's
serve
a
another
safety-
30
sure.
seconds.
It's a very big safety risk because you've got the penalty timer and
Yeah.
all of the penalty timers behind that bench.
And they're
so
not
it's-
paying attention. I mean, you're somewhat paying attention to people coming in because you're indicating where to sit. But you're not watching them come in most of the time. You're watching them stopwatch. You're talking to other people. I've done a bunch of that. And I've been hit by benches or chairs because I'm not watching. And I'm assuming someone's going to come in and sit down. And then they just blow it up.
Okay, so Dynamite leaving the track now. So that is for sure
Foul out.
a foul out. I am looking to see if Saboteur is the substitute. But
No,
that
Saboteur was in the box, so not the substitute. I think the substitute might have been on the track because
Indeed, because they did let
yeah.
Dynamite out. All right, but that is Tumbleweed now in the box for Copenhagen. And then again, because of the 2 penalties, Don't Care Bear still in the box.
Yes. 2 or 3.
So
I'm not quite sure.
there's a lot of information to cover here.
There's a lot going on.
There is.
Little jammer high five to get this next jam started.
Whiskey Smash.
So Unsa taking on Whiskey Smash off the right L jammer line.
Everybody's stuck around that right L jammer line.
I feel validated by the house announcers. So
Sure, you can hear them saying
Yes.
exactly what we're saying. It's like, yes.
we agree. Tumbleweed now out of the box.
Only one person let this. Don't Care Bear's now out of the box. The box is empty.
Right to the end of the engagement zone.
Unsa
I feel like that should be
is the
next
lead for
ball jam.
Copenhagen. Whiskey Smash. Oh no.
Unz is head of the penalty box.
Oh no, and we have a
That's
back block
sad.
assessed for Unsa. And so that will be lead jammer rescinded. Oh no, Saboteur.
And Bai is also there. So we got 3 in the box
penalties
now for Copenhagen. You were
Are
right.
certainly the story of this game.
Yeah, this is, there was like an 80-point gap at one point. Now
Yes.
we're less than 6, we're almost a 50-point gap. And I think, the reason why Palouse is able to kind of close some of that is because of this penalty issue.
Yep.
Although, I think this is the 4th game Copenhagen has played this weekend, so endurance can be playing into that. It's
True.
you fly here from Europe to the west coast of the United States.
All the way. It's like,
It's
what,
like,
an 8 or 9 hour difference?
yeah, it's some
Yeah.
ridiculous amount of
It's
jet
really-
lag you're gonna have.
yeah.
Then play 4 games in 3 days against teams you've never played before, and then pack it all up and go home.
If you're a little tired, we might suspect that to be normal.
Yeah, it's like the it's always so interesting to watch in tournament weekends because it's like the team you watch on Friday. Like some teams just like get better and better and better. Some teams end up with more and more injuries. Some teams, Copenhagen is just exploding though. They're ranked 30 below Palouse, so even with this differential coming
Right.
close up a little bit, they're going to gain in rankings points. There's no way they're not here.
Yeah, it's just they
I
have
mean-
done a great job here this weekend.
Yeah. Even a tie would gain them in rankings points. We have 131 for Palouse, 176 for Copenhagen. Well, and I would think, too, if you're in Europe, you want, climbing in the ranks is super important right now because you get a Continental Cup there. You don't have to come
Okay.
back to the US to play.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to call out here that Tumbleweed is taking the pivot star from Saboteur, which indicates that Saboteur has picked up
Fouled
that
out.
foul, the deadly foul. So Tumbleweed will actually sit in the box as a substitute. Saboteur will head off the track.
Penalty tracker headed back to the
So-
middle. Coach headed back to the bench.
So sad because Saboteur has done such an amazing job out there being all over the. I mean, we've mentioned Saboteur's name several times about just being
Yeah.
there for the defense, turning around, playing offense, turning back around,
Although,
playing defense.
I'm
Just
not
really good.
lineup tracking, and part of me wonders, are we seeing so many foul outs from Copenhagen because they play a blocking core every single jam? And it's not necessarily they're not playing as clean as much as the amount of time you have on the track exposes you to more penalties.
I would be interested to see the lineup tracking for this, yeah.
Yeah, especially when I think about it, I don't know how often I see their jammers blocking. It could be that their jammers don't block, and then their blockers have to block a lot more.
Mm-hmm. So, Tumbleweed exiting the box. Pony, I believe, also having a seat. And Whiskey Smash joining the crew over there. Here comes yet another blocker. I think that's Jester, wearing the pivot stripe for Palouse.
Many whistles. And somebody else headed to the box. It's for Palouse.
So
It looks like
Fricks.
Cracking Skulls.
Fricks had, picks up a track cut.
At this point, if I'm Copenhagen, I just want to tick as much time off this clock as I possibly can after this. Just stop it in
everything.
time where it is. Just end this game.
Stop it as right out.
End
Now,
this game. Preserve every ranking point you've already earned.
Yes.
Get the heck out of here. Go.
so Tumbleweed now back to the box as Tumbleweed, not doing
Yeah.
the
Tumbleweed with
substitution. But Tumbleweed's actually back, joining their colleague Fricks. Fricks now released, star in hand.
There's no jammer, by the way. We're going to the end of this jam, which is 9 seconds from now.
Jester comes in but runs into a wall of defense. Look at that, amazing. Fricks must have had some snacks in that penalty box. Fricks comes out with an explosion.
8 points unanswered by Palouse. It's going to be 139 to 176. They've really closed this off. They've got 3 minutes left. They're only like 30 points, 40 points, 30. I don't know how to do math. I'm gonna actually take out a calculator. $37 points, 3 minutes. Palouse is using their last clock stop. See, that's what you save your official review for. Copenhagen has 2 clock stoppages. But if I'm Copenhagen, I want to get lead, burn as much time off this clock without getting penalties.
As that clock panned over, you saw Coach talking for Copenhagen, talking to the jammer in the penalty box. That jammer of record is Fricks, and just calmly having a conversation. Let's take a breath. Tumbleweed is standing, in less than 10 seconds.
Everybody calm. Everyone relax. It's hard. This is like when you're gambling and you were up like by a whole lot and then you break even and it feels like you lose. That's probably the mental space that Copenhagen is in right now.
Correct.
Like they were up all these points. Like that was going to look so nice for them. And now they're still going to get rankings points, but it's not going to be the like huge haul they thought they'd have.
Right.
So even if they win at this point, if they give up any more points, I think it's going to feel like losing to them, which stinks because they've come here and like really made a statement. But
I gotta say, like, Copenhagen, simply, I say simply, but just has to do what they were doing before, which is cleanly pick up the lead jammer, put your points on the board, let Palouse struggle against your defense. They got a little frazzled, I believe. Fricks now standing in the box, and Kilipino still has not picked up lead, so lead is still eligible. Kilipino tries to move in front of Fricks, and Fricks on the inside lane picks up lead jammer status. Out of the penalty box.
oh, that's happy. Yay. We're putting something together.
Puts a little thumbs up to the coach. Don't Care Bear out of the box now. Sadly, Lecturally Active reports to the penalty box. Now there is also a blocker for Copenhagen. I think, is that Pony? Yes.
It's another 4 for Copenhagen here.
So this is the Fricks that I think the coach was asking for.
Yes.
Just pick up your lead and move through the pack and pick up your 4 and pick up your 4.
I think it's just
Just
so
like
easy
that.
to get in your head when you have those foul outs.
Absolutely.
Like, my blockers are gone. My friends are gone.
Yes.
What am I going to do? And it's like, you're going to do exactly what you're doing. You have
Right.
other blockers. They're just, they're going to support you just as much.
Yes.
We're a team here. Everyone breathe. And you can see that the Copenhagen coaching staff really does a great job of just calming everyone down, talking to everyone all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Communication seems very even keel. And I think that's how you can kind of do something like this. Come back out, 12 on the board.
Right.
Look, we're still here.
And 0
We
for
won our
Palouse.
points.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was the Copenhagen that we saw in the first half, doing the work.
Yeah.
And they just needed that, maybe the soothing voice of their coach to just say, we can play.
We got a
You see
timeout
this?
now being called
You got
by
that?
Copenhagen. So the Twitters told me that there's not a lot of leagues in Denmark. So that could be
Maybe
a contributor.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly geographically, it matters.
More difficult.
If it's difficult for you to play more teams, it's really hard for your rankings to be genuinely reflective of
your
your team
ability.
across, internationally. Right?
And of course,
Like, it's really-
the league that is closest to them is Crime City, which is very, very different rankings situation. Crime City is, I don't even know, probably in the top 10, if not top 20 in the world right now. I do not have the WFTDA rankings
Yeah,
memorized. I'm sorry, now you know.
Yeah, and we don't have information readily at our fingertips, but we are certainly happy to answer and talk about what we can. Sometimes we do have nice little computers with different types of tracking information. This particular venue didn't allow for that, and that no big deal. We're going to talk to you about what we see on the track, which is pretty fascinating.
And here we go. This could be our last jam. It's probably going to be our last jam. It's Foxy Phantom jamming up against Kraken Skulls. 188 to 139 is the score going into this jam. Penalty box is empty, so we have all the blockers and jammers on the track.
And Foxy Phantom at the back, getting hit back and forth, but it is Kraken Skulls that picks up lead jammer, and that's for Palouse.
And I say that was a blocking with the head penalty.
Oh no.
So losing a couple of blockers through the penalty box.
All kinds of bodies headed to the penalty track, 2 apiece. No, I'm sorry, 2 blockers.
Okay.
Yes, 2 blockers and the jammer.
So there's 2 blockers from each team, and the jammer from Palouse are all in the penalty box right now.
Yes.
So, I opened my mouth. There's 2-on-2 on the, so a mini pack, and then there is Foxy Phantom, who's scoring points
Right.
and is in the lead. So this is going to go full 2 minutes. So we have 50 seconds left in this
Yes.
game.
So you may be right, unless someone decides to call an official review, that this could be the last jam, because
Yeah.
no one can call it.
Well, only Copenhagen has the official review, and I'm going to take a wild guess that they're
Say
going
they're not gonna.
they're going to take this game and go home.
Big hit there by
Oh, good spin move there by Foxy Phantom.
definitely not a illusionary hit.
Oh,
Illegal contact?
Back to the penalty box.
so a follow-up power jam for Copenhagen.
Oh, it's got to be heartbreaking. Palouse had brought this game within 37
Yes.
points. They had, a big gap through the whole second half. They got it within striking distance and just
Those
couldn't
penalties,
hold on here.
jammer penalties, and the jam ticks down to a close. We'll see this settle in here. Looks like so 14 right now, but
139 to Palouse.
there was some discussion between the jam, the score, and the jam ref.
It's final.
And there we go. That is the final score. Palouse 139, Copenhagen 202.
Great game for Copenhagen. Close out at one. I think this is their last game of the weekend.
I believe
So
you're right.
huge weekend for them. They,
Yes.
getting their money's worth on their flights here.
I really believe that there will be some adjustments there in their rankings. I really that this
they
weekend
can't not be. I mean,
they have just exploded
Yeah.
into this tournament and brought the best that they have.
and That's gotta feel good too, especially if you think it. Like, we're gonna come in and we're gonna raise ourselves up a significant amount of rankings points, and then you show up and you actually get to do it.
Yeah.
Palouse looks like they had fun though. I mean,
Yes.
how often do you get to play a team from Europe when you live in Washington? Like,
Right.
the furthest place you could be from Europe in the United States.
Unless you're in Alaska, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe
well, no,
Hawaii,
I think Alaska might be closer actually to Europe. I mean, considering if you count Russia as part of Europe. So Hawaii is probably the furthest.
If you
I
count
mean,
Russia. Yes.
If Russia's part of Europe, then
It
you're
is.
not.
You're right.
You're much closer.
Touche, lady, touche.
I mean, I'm just being. What do I call this? Today in pedantry. Pretty pedantic. Anyway,
Well,
so
we
here
thank
we see.
you for joining us on
Yeah.
the feed. We're not going to stand here and do this out, but do come back because we have more derby here.
Yeah, all
today.
weekend. And don't forget to, there's a men's game that's about to start over on track 3, I believe, in half an hour. There's a game here not that long. And then I know there's definitely on this track at 8 o'clock tonight is Rose in Denver, which you probably want to watch. So
Yes, you do.
see you later.
All right, I'm Rippy Longstocking.
I'm October Revolution.
Take care.
Bye.